Y'all are on the East Van Dan Shit Show.
So Jim Moore of Random Killing. God damn, you guys are doing your 40th anniversary tour?
That was last year.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, actually on the poster I saw, you guys are playing my hometown Nanaimo.
Yeah.
Um uh but I'm pretty sure on the poster it says 40th anniversary.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
No,
Any
it would no, definitely was last year.
yeah.
They may have put that on the poster. I don't know.
Yeah. Um anyways, uh
Either way, we're old.
yeah. Well, everyone gets old eventually, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So your guys' contemporaries are Dayglow Abortions, DOA, No Means No. Um so you guys formed around early 80s, 83, 84.
84.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Um you guys formed in Toronto. How did you guys come about?
Well, I was sitting in a park drinking beer with uh who would be the original singer for Random Killing, and he just said we should start a band. And I kind of looked at him and went, kind of band. So it was a punk rock band. And I went, oh. Thing was, I mean, I'd been playing in bands and stuff before, right?
Yeah.
And, punk is what we were listening to and shit, anyways, and going to punk shows, et cetera, right? So, I mean, it totally made sense. Just kind of caught me off guard, I guess, because I remember like just sitting there drinking beer going, what? Because like I was always one of the reasons for that was, um, at the time, like in 1984, punk had turned more like a little heavier. They're
Yeah.
more into like hardcore stuff, with direct action and the exploited and sort of a heavier edge than like what of our what my main influences were, which was the Clash and the Pistols and that late 70s stuff, mostly from England.
Yeah.
And I just seen the Vile Tones and stuff like that, and it was one crazy ass show, and I was just thinking, holy shit. Like those guys put on an awesome show. Anyways, it was just kind of weird at the time. I don't know. But so I just said, yeah, okay, well, let's give it a try. What the fuck, right? And I said, well, I know a guitar player. So the guitar player is still with us today, John. And so I just phoned him up, said, hey, man, do you want to just start not actually start a band? I said, do you want to just jam a couple times? Because that's all I really thought it would be. We'll just jam a couple times and appease Kevin, whose idea this whole thing was. But we started doing it, and it was just a hell of a lot of fun. So, if it's fun, why quit?
Yeah, exactly. But you and John managed to fucking like keep going for decades. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's an accomplishment, you know.
From something that was supposed to last like two rehearsals or maybe three. Right?
Yeah,
Thing
yeah,
was, though, I'd been playing in like other bands and sort of punk related stuff too, but it was a little closer along like the Jam and stuff. The other band, one of the main bands I was in London, Ontario, called the Wogs. It was very Jam influenced. And anyways, it was a friggin' awesome band and great songs and stuff like that. And I'd been in a couple other bands too, and they all kind of like one person would leave and then the band would break up, right? And it's kind of that, well, that's just like, fuck, you put in all this effort writing songs and stuff like that, and somebody leaves, and that's it, right? So, okay, from now on, this will be my band, and I'll just replace anybody who doesn't want to be there anymore. So that's really how it happened, right? So
Yeah.
Kevin, the original singer that we were just talking about, he left in, was it 86 or 87? Maybe 88, somewhere in there. We'll say 87. Anyway, so he left, so we just looked for another singer, and we actually went through a couple um, until very late 89, when I was so the main band in Toronto at the time that we were playing with, and big influence was a bunch of fucking goofs, BFG. I don't know, have you ever heard
Oh
of
yeah,
them?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, Steve's the lead singer. So at the time, late 89, he wasn't doing much. BFG just hadn't been playing that much. So we thought, well, let's ask Steve, right? So we asked Steve, and he kind of laughed at us and said, no, but I know a guy. So anyways, that's how Drew came into the band. So he's been in the band since. And so it's been me, Drew, and John since late 1989.
Yeah.
And we got through various drummers and stuff in between. Chris, who is our current drummer now, was in the band way back in the was it early 2000s? Yeah, probably would have been the early 2000s. He was actually um, played guitar with us for a year or something like that. John took a year off to help raise his kid, and so Chris played guitar with us. Anyways, up to today, Chris rejoined the band back in uh, probably 2018, something like that. 2018, I think that's what it was. And anyways, on drums. So that's the way the current lineup is now.
Awesome. Um, so you guys are playing Nanaimo in August, correct?
No, July.
Oh, July.
July. No, in a couple of weeks. Sorry.
Oh, is it in a couple weeks?
Yeah, yeah.
The fuck? Thought it was like August 12th, 14th, somewhere around there. Huh.
No, it's coming up. I mean, we're leaving tomorrow.
Oh, fuck yeah. Sooner the better.
Yeah.
Um, awesome. So, when do you guys record your first album?
When?
Yeah.
Well, the first actual album wasn't until 1991 or something.
Oh,
But the first record,
yeah,
which was
record.
a 7
Yeah.
inch 45, that was released in 1986.
Oh, okay.
I'll take our
Where'd you guys record it at?
like some little studio in Toronto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. John would remember.
Yeah.
And then after that, we did This Whole World, which was a 12 inch. That would have been 1988 or something like that. And
Okay.
we also did one with a record company in Europe in late 89. I think it was, maybe it was early 90. Kicked in the Nuts was the next one.
Yeah.
And that was a 7 inch as well. And then the first actual full length we did in, I think it was 91 or something.
I was born in 92.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I feel real young now.
No, like my guitar teacher, he sort of introduced me to a lot of old school punk bands like you guys yourselves.
Oh yeah. Cool
A
guitar
lot of
teacher.
a lot of classic rock bands
Yeah.
and um well, I identify as a guitar player. I'm a shitty bass player.
Yeah.
Um
What, you play in a band as bass or something?
No, I haven't played in a band in a long fucking time.
Oh,
I spent most of last year in rehab.
oh,
Yeah. Did have you had any problems with former bandmates regarding addiction?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't speak on it too much. Drew had some issues.
Yeah.
Our singer, yeah, yeah. Back in the 90s. Um, actually late 90s and stuff like that. But yeah, no, he's got his act together as far as that goes. As far as he still likes to smoke the weed and stuff. I haven't seen,
Yeah. Well,
but
I mean, like, well, he doesn't smoke weed these days, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not everybody does though, but like especially if you've had an addiction, because it depends on, you know, your personality too. Because if you have a real addictive personality, then that just becomes another addiction, right?
Yeah. Well, I choose not to
Not the
just
same.
because I don't need it. So
Yeah.
why do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like smoking cigarettes,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
I still smoke cigarettes, but
Oh, do
whatever.
you?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's the last thing I gotta kick. And I'm gonna set a goal, I think 2026.
Yeah, I more or less quit a long time ago. But yeah, that's one thing playing with the band and stuff like that. Like I was like having one after the show, right? Kind
Yeah.
of just one of those things.
Yeah. Like an
But
after show ritual.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just all of a sudden the addiction comes, you gotta have a smoke. Sometimes it comes up
Yeah, well
prior, before the show or whatever, like nerves and shit like that get oh fuck. Yeah. But the other thing is, right, you're hanging around doing a whole lot of nothing for a long time, right? Like hanging around a bar,
yeah.
right? One, you got to watch the drinking, right? Because you can't get completely hammered, right? Um, well, some people can, I suppose, but I can't, and it's generally not a good thing. Like when you're trying to play, to keep your shit together, if you
Yeah,
yeah
exactly.
hammered, right? And if you're in a bar all day, so like that's tough, right? Because you're just sitting there and got nothing to do. I'll have a beer and then two and then 12 and then that's game over, right?
Yeah. Um,
And so in other words, you go outside and hang around outside, and what's everybody doing outside? Smoking cigarettes, right? So
yeah,
kind of gets back to the old addiction to the nicotine, you know what I mean?
yeah. Bar vibes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like in the early days, what bands did you guys like tour with?
Mostly in the early days, we just sort of toured with ourselves.
Yeah,
We would just go out and like back in the day, there was this back in the 90s when we are doing most of the touring and stuff like that. There was Maximum Rock and Roll, the magazine out of California, had this like another publication it did. I don't know if it was every 6 months or something like that, and it's called Book Your Own Fucking Life or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, um, it was a DIY book your own shows wherever you want to go. So it was lists of promoters and venues and all types of shit. So you just kind of used that and got on the old phone and called up Joe, who you'd never met or they hadn't heard of you or whatever in Saskatoon, and said, "Hey, man."
And this is all very pre-social media.
Oh yeah,
Oh
there
yeah.
was no social media. Yeah, no, this was a print magazine called Book Your Own Fucking Life,
Yeah.
put out by Maximum Rock and Roll out of California. Anyway, so it was like a worldwide thing, right? So it wasn't just Canada or the US or it was Europe, it was yeah, Europe, North America, probably South America too. But
Yeah.
back then, I mean, the scene was a lot different back then, right? Like
Y-
kids were all putting on shows and there was a lot more all ages stuff. And back then everything seemed to be very DIY. And there seemed to be places where you could actually do it and stuff like that, which was great.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, I was watching an interview. I forget who it was, but he was saying, you know, back in the 80s, it was a time where like you'd be at one venue that has DOA playing, and then across the street at another one there'll be like Barney Bentel and like the Blackhearts, and
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
that's just
No.
you I don't know, maybe it's just, well, I did live in Vancouver for 8 years, and there was like nothing really like that. It was
No, I
all
mean,
that club
rock
shit
music
these
was
days.
back in the 80s and 90s. Rock music was like huge, right?
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of venues and stuff, and especially once like Nirvana hit and stuff, right? Which really got a lot of people involved who probably wouldn't. They kind of needed that sort of a band to go that next level into the mainstream to for kids to hear stuff, right? And go, oh wow, you know, I don't have to listen to I don't know, the Bee Gees or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the biggest difference. There was just a lot more. It was everywhere, right? And I mean, it was,
Music changes, the climate
yeah,
changes. I mean,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of factors into.
Oh, there's a ton of
Yeah.
factors. Yeah. There's the whole cost thing to running music venues, like especially in the big cities and stuff like that, like Toronto and Vancouver. Everything's just so bloody expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been expensive here, but there was way more clubs and stuff like that where bands could play. And, a lot more all ages stuff. I mean, maybe we're just too old or something, but I don't see it, not like back in the day where there was always all ages. There's some all ages stuff now, but not that much.
I think technology had a lot to do
Yeah.
with the change in music too, because there's fucking so much auto tune out there now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, now, if a kid
backing
really,
tracks and
yeah, so if a kid really is into music or something like that, right there, want to be creative, they just have their laptop, right? And they get GarageBand if, they're starting out or something like that and start making beats. Just do it all yourselves, right? And just prior to that, there was the whole DJ thing. So, I mean, it's been very like instead of like a group of people getting together
in a
to create,
garage with
to create.
instruments.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of that, now it's just a single person in their basement with a laptop,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, that's quite different.
yeah,
And then so it's quite easy then for the mainstream, corporate shit to like completely take over, right? Because that's all you're really hearing now because no one's really going out and creating like a local scene.
mm, yeah,
It's like all these towns and stuff like all over Canada and America, well, in Europe, everywhere back then, like kids would create I don't know if it was because there was a lack of internet, like a lack of social media and stuff. So everybody kind of would hear little bits of underground rock stuff and sort of be like inspired and start their own little underground rock scene, like within their own community, like in Toronto. There'd be like a community of people who would get together. And that's how it all started in like New York City and CBGBs, right? It's just like it wasn't like hundreds of thousands of people or shit like that. It was just a small group of like-minded people who wanted to be creative and do stuff, and it was very localized. So there'd be little localized pockets of stuff like freaking everywhere, right? So then the trick just became, so how do you connect those local pockets, right? And that's where Book Your Own Fucking Life came in, right? So it connected all these people via a paperback magazine,
yeah,
right? That gave that, back then people weren't worried about putting their phone numbers out and stuff and addresses.
yeah.
You don't do that these days, right? And put your phone number on.
Well, I do, but
Well,
whatever.
you mean you post it on Facebook or
Oh yeah,
TikTok or some shit?
yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, give me a call, man. I'm
Yeah, give
bored.
me a call. Call into my shitty show.
Well, a show is one thing, right?
Yeah,
But um, I mean that's slightly different, right?
yeah,
Because that's
for
what you're
sure.
doing, right? So you're actually creating a little scene there with yourself and your show, right? Like that's how you create stuff and get stuff going, right? And then other local people may join and do something else to start it. Because back then it was fanzines and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Much different these days, way different.
Yeah.
That being said, our tours in the last few years have been great. So there's definitely
Um,
shit happening.
I think there's a pretty decent scene here in Nanaimo.
Yeah, well, we played there last year and it was freaking great.
Yeah.
Fun as
Well,
hell.
where'd you guys play here?
Cannot recall. It was a
Was it
bar,
the Globe?
maybe, I don't know.
No, I
They
don't really
have
know.
this is sort of an old school type bar. They had a patio in the back. Stage was beside the patio kind of thing, but inside. I don't know how else to explain it. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall what the name was.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm basically when I'm on tour and stuff like that, a walking zombie.
Yeah.
Because you're going with like no sleep or anything, or well, very little sleep and shit, right? So it's just kind of like next
Hmm.
show, go. Try you just put all your energy into whatever show you got, right? And then
Yeah. Um. So like your high school days, like what bands did you look up to or like inspired you?
well, like I said earlier, it would have been the late '70s British punk rock stuff mostly.
Yeah.
Like yeah, Clash, the Buzzcocks, Pistols, that type of stuff. There was some local stuff as well, but
Yeah, can you remember any of those bands? Local stuff?
well, one would be the Vile Tones.
Okay.
Um, yeah, shit. No, I can't. I mean, I'll remember after I hang up or after.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll go. Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
bet you would.
I mean, I remember all the guys that were in the bands and shit, but coming with the name, I'm bad on names and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was well, there was one band. It was a high school band called. Well, they're still around actually. Stark Naked and the Fleshtones.
Heart Naked and the Flesh Tones.
Yeah,
Huh.
they really haven't released much or anything, but back in the day, they had songs about like herpes and stuff, and so in high school that was pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
Like back in those days, it was oh my God.
Shocking. Yeah.
Yeah, it was shocking. Back then I was playing in a Santana cover band.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we shared the stage with those guys at the school um, talent show. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Did you
I,
guys play Samba Petit for like 10 minutes?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it was a really good band. If you like Santana, it was like guitar player was extremely talented dude. He
uh,
could
yeah, it'd have to be if you're
he,
playing in a fucking Santana cover band.
yeah, all the guys in that band were extremely good musicians.
Yeah.
Extremely talented. Yeah, the guitar player John Tony Anaga was his name. He was phenomenal guitar player. He had Santana down, unbelievable. We had, congos and keyboards and the whole Santana thing going on.
Sweet.
But then
Um,
then punk rock came around. It was like, yeah, well, that's boring. Oh, I'm gonna go do this.
well, punk I think is kind of unique in the way that like didn't like it never really died, I guess you would say. Like, you know,
Yeah, I would say that.
there was like grunge, but that was like from what?
Well, early 90s, 90, 91,
This,
92.
yeah, so they only had like 5, 6-ish years, somewhere around there.
I mean, see, like Nirvana was really a punk rock band, really,
Yeah, yeah.
right? You know, the other grunge bands, maybe not so much, but yeah. So yeah, really up until yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, like it never. It's always kind of been like that, right? It's like a wave. It kind of goes up and then goes down and eventually goes back up again because
Huh.
it's music full of energy, right? Which is what I like about it. It's the energy of the music, right?
Yeah.
And it just makes me want to do and go stuff, right? And do stuff, right? There's an energy behind it, right? Where a lot of rock music, not I don't get that from it, right? I mean, there's an energy, but not the same.
Mm-hmm. And there's like an attitude, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and there's, you know, a lot of stuff you can relate to in punk. Um, you
Yep.
know,
And there's,
that's a statement to make, that sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So politics,
Yeah.
depending on the band, like I mean, so the other big influence to me was the Dead Kennedys,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
right? So musically and lyrically, so that's kind of how I came up, which was very left-wing political music, like the Clash. That's really what they were, and the Dead Kennedys. So yeah, so there's that, the energy, and if you just have, I mean, it doesn't have to be, when you say political too, it's kind of, left, right, or whatever. I mean, a lot of the stuff shouldn't be that. I mean, human rights shouldn't be politics. Like the rights for a human being to exist without being put down and put into slavery, that shouldn't be political because that's a human being, right? I mean, why is that political? Like, why is one side say it's right and the other side say it's no? Like, what? I don't know. I don't get that. It shouldn't, females' right to their own body and stuff like that. That's theirs. It's not for someone else to tell them what to do with their body, right? So, anyways, a lot of this stuff I don't really see it as political, even though it's all become and probably always has been political. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear
It
you.
should be like shit, and as far as the environment's concerned, why is that political? Why should you not want clean water and clean air? Like, why would you want to be breathing dirty air and drinking dirty water? Like, huh? Like, it makes no sense, right? It really doesn't. Like, if that's really what you want, put your car in the garage, start it up, and close the goddamn door, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a no-brainer.
Well, you would think,
Yeah, you would think.
but apparently, um, people have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't understand that. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, it doesn't help when you have like, you know, a couple million people bickering.
No.
No.
Yeah. See, that's why it shouldn't be political. It should be like everybody should kind of agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean water is good drinking clean water is a good thing.
Um, cool. Well, I think we covered a lot. I'm stoked for you guys' show.
Yeah, it'll be
Um,
fun. Last time we were there, it was awesome.
at the terminal. Apparently it's not August, it is July or
No,
June.
no, May. A
May,
couple
May.
weeks.
Oh, fucked up
Yeah,
again there.
yeah. It's
Um,
it's May.
cool.
Yeah, I said July. You said August, and then I said July. And then I said, no, wait a sec, I'm leaving tomorrow. It's in a couple of weeks.
Well,
Actually,
awesome. I will be there and I will bring friends out and I will post on my Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot.
Yeah, okay, cool, man. Thank you very much for reaching out. It was awesome talk. Anytime you want to shoot the shit about this stuff,
Hell
feel free
yeah.
to give me a we got some new songs and stuff like that that'll hopefully be coming out
Oh, sweet.
right while we're working on them anyways.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Do you think you guys will have new tunes out this year?
Oh, I hope so. They were supposed to be out last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they
know
were.
what? I was just reading about well, Social Distortion is my favorite punk band.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they
and I
were.
had no idea that Mike Ness fucking had was diagnosed with cancer. So their album that they've been working on for like the last
Yeah,
decade is now put on hold again.
yeah, and their longtime guitar player died not that long ago too, which
Dennis
yeah,
Darnell.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway, which put a at that point it looked like they were done.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, they've been going through a rough time. I just saw them like a month or so ago
Oh yeah,
here in Toronto. It was great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I had seen them prior. I don't know if it was, yeah, it would have been in the 1990s, and I wasn't actually very impressed with them.
Oh
I
really?
think well, I thought, okay, they're fantastic. Like, I love their music and like listening to Social Distortion. I just think they're fucking awesome. Um, and I listen to them all the time, still do. But I thought, I don't know, just live, it just didn't, may have been off nights and stuff. But this time when I saw them, maybe because I wasn't expecting much, but I went, wow, that was amazing. It was an amazing show.
Yeah,
Yes, Ness was in top form and the band was really good. And yeah, no,
yeah,
it was good. I'm so glad I went.
yeah. They played Vancouver fucking I think it was 5 years ago. They played the Commodore Ballroom. I didn't get a chance to go.
Oh, the Commodore would have been a
Yeah,
good place to see them.
yeah, yeah. Such a classic venue, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like that's
Yeah,
one that's been around since,
forever.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely since the 90s, anyways, probably way before that, but definitely
yeah,
classic.
yeah, for sure, man. Anyways, cool. Well, thanks for doing my show,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
we'll
And
see you in a
yeah,
couple weeks, or
yeah,
in
let's see you in a couple.
July, or in August, or one of them.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds
yeah,
good. Yeah,
awesome.
it'll be a couple weeks. It'll be second week in May at some point.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, second week in May.
Sweet.
It's not sure of the exact. I think it's a Friday. Fuck, while you're on here, I should probably just look it up,
Look
shouldn't
it
I?
up.
Here's a freaking good
Thanks, Jim.
idea. There's a good idea.
Uh, Random killing. Nemo.
Friday. So Friday the 16th is in Victoria. I'm just looking. So it's maybe the day before that. Maybe it's the Friday. Bet you it's the Friday. Where's the goddamn tour poster? Hello? Tour poster. Lots of posts. Oh, here. The 17th.
The 17th.
Yeah, it's the last show on the tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 16th in Victoria, 17th in yeah.
Oh, sweet.
All right. So now that we got that figured out.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'll be there and I'll bring some buddies out. It'll be a good time.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you, man.
Awesome, Jim. Well,
Well,
thanks
thank you so
again,
much.
and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Will do. Cheers.
Later, man.